I got y'all. I got y'all tweet about the caller that called in yesterday, saying that there are some Republicans who are trying to use the Dred Scott case to say that Vice President Kamala Harris is not qualified to be president.
Yeah.
Um, I I'm not a constitutional law professor, but it it doesn't. I mean, you could never doubt Republicans, but Dred Scott was nullified with the 14th Amendment. It was
Yeah.
nullified. It
Yeah.
doesn't really work. It was nullified. They
Yeah.
knocked it out. They said you can't use it because Dred Scott said that black people aren't citizens, and the 14th Amendment because of my man Thaddeus Stevens. It wasn't just Thaddeus, but he said these white Southerners are so crazy
Mm-hmm.
that because previously they had a Civil Rights Act, and they said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, these white Southerners are so crazy, we got to put this in the Constitution.
Right.
And I believe I don't know. I think Thaddeus dies in 1868. I don't even know if he saw it
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
become law, but that birthright citizenship nullifies Dred Scott. So I'm not
Yeah.
even exactly sure how that's going to work. But what was funny to me, Reese Colbert, is that some things never change.
Mm-hmm.
They tried this with the first black man in Congress, Hyram Rebels. This is in my
Mm.
book, The Grift, the paperback version. You can pick it up, paperback version,
It is in
pre-order
there.
rather. But some things never change. It's kind of funny to me. So to give you all a little bit of context, in 1868, the 14th Amendment passes, and it's basically birthright citizenship. There's a lot of things, but it's birthright citizenship. If you're born in this country, you are a citizen. And they did
Mm-hmm.
it because they kept on trying to say enslaved people are not citizens. But now slavery is abolished. You're born in this country. You aren't. You're a citizen, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so one of the things they tried to do when they tried to seat Hyram Rebels to be a senator in Mississippi, they said, well, you have to be a citizen for 9 years.
Ooh.
And he just became a citizen in 1868, and it's now 1870. It don't count. This was a
Mm-mm-mm.
fascinating part of my book. Hyram Rebels was a black Republican. Listen
Yeah.
to this. It says, as for Revels, racist Democrats constructed many excuses not to seat him. The most appalling was that Revels, 42 at the time, was ineligible because he had not met the Senate requirement of being a citizen for 9 years. They argued he had only been a citizen for 2 years due to the 14th Amendment in 1868.
Mm.
Southern Southern Democrats attempted to use the 1857 Dred Scott decision, which asserted black people were not citizens, as their legal argument. Obviously, Dred Scott was nullified with the 14th Amendment. The Southern Democrats were still fighting for the last vestiges of the Confederacy. Mississippi's Senate seat had a symbolic power, one having previously been held by Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy. Then the newspaper articles, one called, I'm sorry, the newspapers, one called the New York World, a popular, like the freaking Fox News of the time, wrote about looking at Hyrum Revels,
Mm.
and they described him as having hands like claws.
Oh my God. Mm.
So what I think is funny, the Dred Scott case is being used in 2024, and it's not going to work like it did in 1870.
No, 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 no,
But
no.
some things never change.
Well, it just shows you how shameless they are, how just egregiously racist they are, to even use something like that. Like they don't have any shame. And this is what's so crazy about, the anti-CRT and the try to rewrite history thing. It's not about shame because they have no shame. They have
Yeah.
no shame in their lack of humanity, the lack of their ancestors' humanity. It's all about gaslighting and power. That's what it is. Not because, oh, people are going to be ashamed of their history. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn
Yeah.
because they're still pulling back. They're pulling back from that same time frame to try to perpetuate the same white supremacy, the same white nationalism, the same white Christo nationalism that they've been doing for centuries now. But it's
Yeah.
not going to work.
And the group
Y'all
is
going to have to
called
be here at the ballot, honey, and that ain't happening,
Right.
Cat.
The group is called the National Federation of Republican Assemblies, NFRA. Now, I'm one to be real with you. If something is, crazy, I get it, but I don't think we have to worry about this one. I don't think
No.
we have to worry about this one. This is bizarre and strange. It goes to show you that people don't even know the basics of history. But Dred Scott is not going to work unless there's a remix that I don't know about. Unless
Yeah.
there's a loophole. I mean, some folks have said, well, the 14th Amendment only interpreted citizenship. But I don't know if I would. I'm not a constitutional law professor, but
They're
I don't
not.
think
They're
that
not
one you
gonna
got to
do
worry about. You got to worry about Georgia, Texas kicking you
it.
off your voter roll. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You got to
Right.
worry about,
Right.
will Georgia certify the election now that Brian Kemp and Trump are buddy buddy?
Oh,
There's a
they
lot.
are. I
I
missed
don't
that
think we.
memo.
Oh yeah, they sisters again. They back at it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Makes sense, right? Perfect
Mm.
timing. So those are the things I think you have to worry about. This one, it's. But listen, if this means that more people are going to look up Dred Scott, hey, go for it. I,
Yeah.
I I did a whole history segment on it. It's
Mm-hmm.
fascinating what happened to him. It's bizarre. I mean, I'm not going to go through it again. Maybe I'll revisit another time. But
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, it was terrible what they did to him. Terrible, because part of his argument was that well, if I'm traveling in other states, why am I not free in a free state? Like, I don't
Oh.
understand.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good
what
point.
his thing was, because he traveled to a free state and then he had to go
Mm-hmm.
back to the slave state, and he said, "No, I ain't going back. I'm free now." And they said,
Mm.
mm-mm. So Dred Scott basically makes slavery a national issue,
Mm.
a national
Mm-mm.
policy.
Mm.
Then you have the Fugitive Slave Act, which that
Yeah.
Damon Abraham Lincoln supported, which basically you could go in any state and say, I own this person, and put them back in slavery.
Mm.
Illinois, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Say, oh, I own this person. And
Mm.
then you have white folks, you had people being captured that weren't even enslaved.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why the states' rights argument, I know some of y'all Republicans like to say, oh, states' rights. That ain't a great language for, I don't know about other backgrounds, but when we hear that, if we know
Mm-hmm.
Black History 101, states' rights has never been a good idea.
Mm-mm.
Just saying.
Nope.
Never
Absolutely
looked
not.
good for us. Y'all need to figure out your trigger language. Don't blame. Oh, you're going back and y'all are literally using language from the 19th century,
Mm-hmm. But
and then wonder
intentionally,
why we like
intentionally, they know what the dog whistles
intentionally,
are. They know that.
intentionally,
Only thing is, you
intentionally.
have a bunch of
See,
dumbass people that don't catch the tea when they say that.